It's finished here at the Silver Lake Stadium, Eastleigh 1, Altrincham 2, and I'm with Phil Parkinson. Phil, how pleased are you to get your first win here at this stadium?
Absolutely delighted. You beat me to it there. I was just going to say first, our first time that we've got that win, and I think we've deserved to win here in the past. And you think you've started the game great, and you think not plain sailing, but you think everything's set up for you to go on for a fairly comfortable routine win. And then they score straight after they've had the man sent off, so it becomes a sticky wicket, one you're expected to win, but these are very difficult to beat, and the lads did great to keep the discipline and still create chances. We could have won comfortably in the second half, but at 2-1 they've always got a chance, haven't they?
So we started the game very well, obviously, getting that early goal, and even at that stage, even before what happened with the red card and their goal, we had some other chances. So that opening half an hour, even when it was 11 against 11, we really had a lot of control in the game.
I find it a lot of the time when we play Eastleigh, we do that a lot. But what they've got is really good forwards, and I know one of their big threats has gone off there, and people say, well, McCallum's not played, but even when they've played in the past, they've still posed as a problem with or without those types of players. So we normally dominate the ball against Eastleigh. I felt we did that at home as well when they narrowly beat us there. So it was really sweet to get that win today, where we've controlled vast amounts of the game. We've kept the discipline. We've kept a goal threat, and I felt that was throughout the game. So it just increased more in the second half with the extra man that we had on the pitch.
So obviously a pivotal moment in the game is the red card for Tyrese Shades. Charlie Olsen's been involved in a few things since he's come to the club. I guess that's an aspect of him that you like as a character. What was your view on the whole red card incident and the yellow card for Charlie Olsen in it as well?
Charlie's got the yellow card for the initial foul, but then obviously Shades' reaction is just killed his team, hasn't it? So we've spoke about discipline on a number of occasions, haven't we? And we've been stung by it in the past, where a lad will have a moment of madness, and it's a competitive sport. Obviously, Charlie's a fierce competitor, and fortunately for us, he's come out on top of that battle. But we being on a yellow card and us having all the ball, I felt it was just perfect to bring James on there, because James is such an accomplished footballing centre half. Well, they all are, but James is probably the best at bringing it out, and it just made sense not to take any risks with Charlie in the second half and bring James on when we knew we were going to dominate the ball even more.
The combination of the red card and then obviously Eastleigh equalising straight from the free kick afterwards, it felt like it woke up the whole crowd and everything, and sometimes against 10 men, as we all know in football, it can be harder, and it did feel as if the whole nature of the game changed with that red card and the equaliser. Yeah,
it did, and our fans were brilliant, by the way. I know you're probably going to touch on them after, and I asked I mentioned at my last interview about making away days like home days, because people keep asking me why the differences between home and away performances. It felt like we were at home at certain points of this game, believe it or not. I know we didn't bring loads, but the voices were so loud, and it certainly spurred the lads on as well. So to travel the amount of distance we have, and for them to do that, everybody was needed today, and they were all called upon, and they certainly didn't disappoint.
One player I'd like to touch on in terms of a first really big start for him, Lucas Weaver. Perhaps a little bit quiet in the early stages of the game, but then once he got into the game, he was a constant threat, and you must be delighted with how he's contributed today.
Well, that was the big game plan at half time, because he had the full back on toast, didn't he? We knew when he get down the side of him that he wouldn't be able to live with him, and it was such a strong performance from Lucas. Everyone's got to remember how far he's come in such a short space of time, and the reason we've been patient with him, and the reason we left Ollie Crankshaw at home today as well, was that we knew we had Lucas and we believed in him. Could have easily played Ollie today and risked pushing him too hard. This game's come a little bit too soon. I know everyone's scratching their head saying, where's Ollie Crankshaw? But if we don't believe in the squad, there's no point in me having Lucas Weaver in the building. I might as well send him out on loan. We believed in him, and he repaid that belief today by a top performance.
The second half was largely one-way traffic, and if Tuesday was the story of us taking all our chances, it wasn't quite like that in the second half, and I can't believe Regan Linney's going to have too many games like that. You expect him to score probably both of those one-on-ones, and it could have been a lot more comfortable in that second half if we'd taken a couple of the many chances we created.
Yeah, Regan's a top forward, and you won't get away with giving him too many chances like that. I think he's got the highest XG in the top 6 divisions. So the amount of goals, he supersedes his XG, which I know people aren't massive on stats, but what that basically means is he's not supposed to score as many as he is, and he's got the best return in the top 6 divisions. I'm probably killing myself putting that out publicly, but people who know will know that anyway, and you don't expect him to miss those types of chances, but he's a human being and he's going to miss them from time to time. Unfortunately today, it's not cost us. But if you don't take your chances and if you aren't clinical, we've seen so many times it can come back and bite you. But what I would say is the defensive discipline of the whole team was superb today, and the nous of when to play and when not to play. I feel we've got that balance right this season, probably more so than ever. And you need to do it when you're away from home, and that's a big reason why we got the result.
And part of that defensive nous, it's some Altrincham fans don't like it when you bring on an extra centre back towards the end. But I thought when Jake Cooper came on, he did exactly what you wanted. He won his headers, and actually the last 5 or so minutes of injury time we saw out really well.
Yeah, I mean, in the changing room previously, I've just put a special mention. That's the first thing I said was to Jake. Jake is very disappointed. He was a starter for us last season. I've gone on record a number of times of talking about his professionalism, and he's really grown up, because the old Jake Cooper probably wouldn't have the attitude that he's got now. It would have really affected him, but he's really grown up. He's got that grit, that determination, but the biggest word I'd use is professionalism, because if he's not professional and he's not focused, he doesn't come on and run through brick walls for me there, because I've been very honest with Jake. He understands where he's up to, and I've delivered on whatever I've promised Jake in the past and now. Everything he's asked for, I've tried to do for him, and he's delivered for me. I'm so proud of him, because like I said, I've seen so many times where lads come on at crucial times and they're not focused, they don't do it right. We were under the pump a little bit because they were just launching balls into the box, so we brought on a bigger centre half, and if they had a free kick, they've obviously got Franchiletti, who poses a big problem, whoever you put on him, so having the extra bigger player on really helped us there, and I think our game management was on point there to be able to see that through.
So it's been a good January so far, 3 wins from 3, and I think Neil Silverall touched with his comments before the game of saying we tend to have either a good run or a bad run. We've not really had either so far this season, but we'll really want this to be the beginnings of a good run. We're up into the playoffs, up into 6th, and a week to prepare for what should be a fantastic game against Forest Green Rovers on Saturday. You must be really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I certainly am. It's always great to pit yourselves against the best teams, and when we went there last season, this season at the start, I felt we should have got something without playing particularly well, but again, that's the difference in experience and now that bit of saying we look like we're getting a little bit more of now. They've got some real good experience in their ranks, and we're going to have to be at our very best to get anything, but we couldn't ask to be, for us, Altrincham at this point in the season. I know everybody wants us to be in the top 4, but is that realistic for us season on season with the investment that's gone into so many other teams? Probably not, but we still expect, and that we'll never lose that. We want that expectation. So for us, we're in a really good spot at the moment. We're on the curtain tails of all those pushing for the playoffs, and we want to be right in that mix. And as you said there about the winning runs and the losing runs, we've just probably been consistent throughout in terms of winning it out of 5 games, winning a couple, drawing a couple, losing one, or vice versa. So some teams will do it in spurts. If we can be consistent from now to the end and really pick up, because I believe we can with the squad we've got, unless we get any more injuries. With the squad we've got, I think we can have a really strong end to the season. Everyone's bringing players in. We're getting players back who we've not had all season, who should be strong players for us, and that should see us into a really good position come that final furlong.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.